Namaste everyone, and thank you for pressing play. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for loving yourself enough. Thank you for being amazing. What a wonderful week I had. I can't speak for yourself. It wasn't without its disruptions, but disruptions are there to get your timing back on. We can't expect to be perfect. Sin. Yeah, let's talk about sin. The word sin, so what do we think sin is? Sin is a three-letter word and starts with an S, ends with an N, an N, and in the middle is an I, okay. Sin basically means you missed the mark. So say, for example, you were playing darts and you wanted to get the bullseye, and whoever got the bullseye was the winner. So everyone had a go. And you didn't get the bullseye. You hit to 20, or you hit to 7, you hit to 1. You didn't get the bullseye. But guess what? You get another go. It doesn't mean that's ended. It ends. You get another go. Sin means you missed the mark. Doesn't mean you're going to rot in an eternal pit of hell. Because your life is there to teach you to be the best version of you. And quite frankly, you're never going to get there until you acknowledge, 1, you're not perfect. 2, you don't have to be perfect. We're going on to perfection. Everything is designed to help you be the best you that you can be. And at the moment, the gift of the woohoo is that you are forced for the first time in your life to acknowledge who you are and who you are in relation to everything, in relation to the people you live with, your colleagues, in relation to your world, your community, your relationship to your beliefs, your religions. No one is going to any churches, mosques, temples, gurdwaras. My friend Harsh says it always, she always laughs when I say that word. I said to her, say it wrong. She goes, no, it just sounds funny. Gurdwara. No temples, no mosques. Life goes on. Do you still feel connected to God? Or do you have to be in a building? Why do you go to that building? Is it to build that connection with God? Or is it to see your friends, show off your latest wheels, your new watch? We have to reevaluate. Isn't it amazing? Reevaluate who you are. Because that's what it's all about. Every week we talk about the circle. The circle means oneness. Oneness. The circle of life. Being one with all that is, not separate. In other words, you have transcended, or you have scrapped the idea, belief, and way of being in a dualistic perspective, and you have cast that out, because that means you are internally divided. A city divided upon itself will fall. So you literally create the hell on earth or the heaven on earth that is your life. And right now, the gift under the Christmas tree that wasn't wrapped up in a pretty paper or didn't have pretty ribbon is saying, go inside. Start that process. And if you are on that process, this last few minutes of this you say, yeah, I know. Okay, but other people also watch that haven't been as far along as you. So we have to be cognizant, we have to pay attention to all the young birthers, all the new people coming to this. Okay. So it was a beautiful week, not without its disruptions or without its challenges, but those challenges are there to help us to learn. Come out of the rat race. We've been able to cocoon in your heaven on earth. Maybe it doesn't feel like heaven. Well, make it heaven. You work so hard. This is your heaven on earth. If you cannot be one with yourself, how can you be one with those you're living with, and then exponentially to those others you know? When everything that we think and everything we say affects the greater good or the greater bad. It's just that our society is awash with a disease. It's now very physically on the third dimension, but it was a spiritual disease. Certain people walking on the earth thinking that for some reason they can just take their will and wield it upon the children of God. They are also children of God, but unfortunately they are possessed. What did Jesus do? Wow. He Told everyone the good news. The good news is that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. If you cannot achieve the kingdom of heaven on earth when you pass, when our Father, people, you think you die. Yes, let me tell you something right now. The breath of life is given and the breath of life is removed. I'm going to find a video. Is it in that program with Morgan Freeman called God? It's a very good series, that is. It might be in there. Yes, it is in there. About a man that fell. I think he was a window cleaner. Up this huge height, 70 odd floors. I cannot remember the exact number, but I will get a link and put it below. He fell. 70 odd floors. Could be even more, but it's a ridiculous amount. How does any human being survive that? And he survived. Not only did he survive, he went on to be able to walk, speak again. Obviously, it was a long process. But there's a twist to that story. God gives breath and God takes it away. So, while God is still deigning to give you breath, I suggest we honor that and honor yourself as a child of God. But as a child of God, we bear responsibility to humanity. What did Jesus do? He went and told the good news. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's on earth. It starts here. Then you co-create your life using your intuition through prayer and fasting, and meditation. No fasting. Prayer and meditation. Then you connect to the earth. She, who every day gives you ground to walk on, air to breathe. Wind that swishes through the trees, food to eat, water, everything you need to survive. Everything you need is provided. But instead, think about this. People say money doesn't grow on trees. Is that true? Because if you can grow food, you're growing money. Because you don't have to spend money on food. Wow. There are other ways of making money. Trade, the currency that is currently how we trade, to swap. Before they bartered, too many people, that'll get too out of hand. There needs to be a standardized way of trading. We call it money, but everyone's faith is in money. I heard the richest of the rich have been getting even richer. How is that? Wow. But remember, the woohoo is no respecter of persons. No respecter of persons. The whole world is looking at each one of us. You're all looking at me. Now, there are people that watch these videos, they don't like me very much. Why? Because I tell the truth. Yeah. But that's okay. Because I love you. Now, there'll always be those that love and there'll always be those that hate. I'm talking to you. Which one are you? The good news is at hand. Kingdom of heaven. It's not something to work for when you die. So you don't do any sins. You hit the mark each time. That's ridiculous. That's a huge amount of pressure to put on any human being. You're human. You've got to embrace that human part. Warts and all. If you're broken, well, the system broke you. The same system we cleave to. This is our opportunity. Yes, some people are possessed by demons. Now, not the television kind, where people are suspending from the roof, climbing up the walls. No, the lies that they tell themselves, the lies that they believe, that say, oh, I own islands, I can have this, I can have that. But then when your company is faltering, you can't even dip into your own pocket and sort your own company out. The taxpayer must pay. Really? Really? All eyes. Everyone's looking at everyone right now. Who are you? At the core of it, when the world is in chaos, who are you? The you that you are adds to the collective. Think about this. The whole world is a pond. Each morning, each human being goes, metaphorically speaking, to the pond to deliver a handful of their water into the collective pond. Yes, to make sure everyone's got water. Everyone is instinctively goes to the pond and delivers a handful of their personal water into the collective pond. Lovely. Some people's water is beautiful because they clean it. They make sure it's not infected. They don't urinate in it. Other people just don't care. So their water's disgusting and disease infected. But everyone is going down to the collective pool to add to it. So the health of the collective pool of water is the overall health of the collective of human beings. So right now it's diseased. So go back home, look at your water. In other words, look at yourself, look at your energy. What are you giving to the collective? Is it life-giving or is it rancid? Your thoughts, your words, and your actions make a huge difference. But what makes more difference is the example that you are right now. And all of you are splendid. Well done. Namaste. Okay. It was a great week. Astrology for the week commencing 26th of April. Today, Sun conjunct Uranus. An opportunity. Oh, this is one sentence. This was sent to me as one sentence. I'm going to read it as one sentence because it makes me laugh. And then I'll break it down. An opportunity, because I'm reading it as the person who wrote it. Okay. An opportunity to transform our sense of self-identity through opening up to the intuitive insights from the spiritual mind and allowing them to change our sense of self from the ego to the soul, whilst cultivating the humility necessary to prevent any arrogance or a sense of spiritual superiority from undermining the process. Ooh, that's a mouthful. An opportunity to transform our sense of self-identity. Your self-identity is who you think you are. I think, therefore I am. Famous quote. Yes. What would happen if you stopped thinking? Nothing would happen. It would mean you would be surrendering and a miracle would be able to happen. You see, when you stop thinking, it gives the space for the miracle to be delivered. You see. In reality, nothing would happen. Your ego doesn't want you to stop thinking because it exists through your thoughts. So when you calm your thoughts, transform your thoughts, which is the only way to transform your life, then of course the ego's like, what is the place for me? Where's my place? Where's my place? Oh, look, I'm here. I'm here playing the joker. I'm here playing the angry child. You see? Your thoughts. Okay, so your sense of self is who you think you are. Your spiritual mind is your soul self, or who you really are. So when you're quiet and you give space for the soul self, or other people refer to that as the higher self, to be known, the ego is going to freak out. Of course it's going to freak out, because then where's this? What's my job? I cannot live. Yes, you can live, sweetie. So it's an opportunity to stop that mental activity just enough to have a breath of fresh air from your soul self, is what it's basically saying in a nutshell. But now what happens is you will get spiritual insights. People have been telling me all week about they've been having dreams. Oh, when people phone me and tell me, oh, you were in my dream, I'm like, oh, cringe. So half the people watching are going to stop doing that now. You can still phone me. Dreams are always given in archetypes. My daughter said, what's an archetype? I said, Google it. If 3 years at university you don't know what an archetype is, I don't know. In dreams, messages are always given in archetypes. A lot in meditation as well, given in archetypes. And see this, someone said to me once, what are you searching for? And I looked at them and said, there's only one thing to search for, and that's the truth. Searching for Jesus, in other words, or searching for the truth. He was the truth. He was an embodiment of the truth, not the only one, but a very famous one. So powerful that turned it to upside down world. So, if we're all like Jesus, or Mary Magdalene in the case of ladies, then we're going to be embodiments of the truth. But we live in a world where telling the truth is a revolutionary act. It's imprisonable in some places. You're not going to be popular, but you are going to be free. And you are going to be powerful, I'll tell you. Okay. Because telling the truth is what kills the demon in other people, the lie, which is in their head, which is hurting them in the end of it. Okay, so this week, Paul said to me, I was only a few aspects. I looked at them and I thought they're so powerful. Starting today, take some time to meditate. Allow that soul self to speak as opposed to the thinking self. Okay, so you get your epiphanies, you get your insights, and then you get all arrogant. That's not going to work. Okay, so we have to watch the arrogance. Those that are on their spiritual path, this is a time when you're going to connect the dots or have your epiphany moments, which is wonderful, but don't get arrogant with it. It's a time to be humble. Okay, we understand that for you to have that level of insight, you have done the work. We understand that, but it was only through grace that was given to you. Never forget that. Okay. Also, Sunday the 26th, Mercury square Jupiter, a challenge to learn how to expand our perceptions in a way that grasps the bigger picture without losing sight of the fine details necessary to be able to apply the understanding of the big picture in practical ways so that it plays out in our day-to-day life. It's about being able to hold a vision. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. All right, so say you wanted a farm. This is how this would work. You wanted a farm. Okay, wanting something means you don't have it. It's in the future. You create the future today. So this is how you would address this issue. I want a farm. I already have a farm. I can see it in my mind's eye. In fact, I can see it so strongly. I'm there. Oh my goodness, there we go. There's the chickens. That's exactly how the chicken coop's going to look. Got to make sure the foxes don't come. But foxes have a right to live. So we have to coordinate things. We have to live together. Oneness. A fox is going to behave like a fox is going to behave. It is a fox. I accept it for being a fox. This is how the chickens are going to live successfully with the foxes. This is how that's going to run. This is how this is going to run. I can feel it already. I live my life like that is my reality. It is there already. I can see it. Okay, that's the big picture. But now you have to take physical steps in this third dimension. So when you're holding the big picture, we can say that's in the fifth dimension because it is in the ethers. It is in the spiritual. Okay, but heaven on earth is going to be on earth. So we have to translate that to be a physical manifestation. Yes, we have to take action. So whilst we're holding the vision, the farm, yes, lovely, 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 we have to take some action. We have to start planning. We have to get your seeds. You have to get your equipment. You have to make your plans. That is on a day-to-day boring activities. I don't like paperwork, which is crazy because I was an administrator for 20 years. I don't like it. It has to be done. Always do it on Tuesday. I'll explain why in a bit. If you procrastinate with paperwork, that is. So you can hold the vision whilst dealing with the annoying day-to-day things and without losing the courage and the hope and the passion for the big picture. Okay? Because it's easy to have a dream, a wish, a hope. But if you cannot translate that into an actual physical reality, down the road, you're going to feel disappointed. And there's no need for that. It is appointed for you to have your own kingdom on earth. There you go. Everyone's kingdom is different. Some like a big one, some like a small one. So, can you hold the vision whilst you have to deal with the annoying day-to-day tasks? And can you do it from a position of oneness? So without having all that internal conflict. Can you meditate today and these are the insights that will be given to you. See, I tell you every day what would be a good thing to meditate upon for all of this to help you. If you don't take that action, what more can I do? Monday the 27th. Mercury enters Taurus until the 11th of May. An opportunity to develop a grounded and practical way of thinking and learning to recognize and appreciate simple solutions to problems rather than over-complicating matters. At the same time, it's an opportunity to recognize and let go of any tendencies towards mental stubbornness, which is a Taurian trait, lower level, and attachments to ideas and situations that don't serve us any longer. Okay, so while we're in a cocoon stage, reevaluating ourselves during the woohoo, this is a wonderful opportunity to have a look at those things that don't serve you. Do you really want to go back to that job? Do you really want to go back to that lifestyle? A lot of people I'm speaking to saying, I'm never going back to that madness. And they are making plans for a life not so dependent on the madness. How fragile is it? You know, was it created in a lab? Did a bat do it? Well, maybe they harvested the stuff from a bat and then went and messed with it in a lab. Why? I ask you, why is it necessary to create disease? Is there not enough already? He has a clue, because they can sell you a solution down the road. Yes, they can sell you a solution. This is why people create diseases. If you're not practical and grounded, you cannot translate these wonderful, amazing opportunities that God is giving you to transform your life, to be the star player in your own life and not someone else's pawn. Wow, what a gift. All you have to do is be still, just for a period of time every day. It's not hard. It's hard to stop the mind thinking when that's how you're used to operating. Yes, that's why we do guided meditation, to help you to start to retrain that overthinking. Okay, so Monday, you're going to be overthinking or you're going to take a break. Simply put, Monday's about letting go. And finally saying, you know what, I'm not going back to that, or these are the things I'm going to change. Through the woohoo, people are going to transform. That's a gift, that's a silver lining, or not. Are we all going back to that once life returns to normal? Normal. You just got to start creating your normal. Yes. Otherwise, someone will create a normality for you post-woohoo. Tuesday the 28th, Mercury square Saturn, a challenge to develop the mental discipline, focus, and concentration required to be able to separate truth from illusion and free the mind from distracting thought patterns. It also challenges us to be disciplined, careful and truthful with our words, and resist any temptation to lie, so that we avoid creating karma. If ever you see the word Saturn, don't do it. It's karma-inducing. Lies, karma-inducing. The whole world is moving to oneness, thinking, and being. You see, being still is being. You're one. The minute you're still and attempt to stop the thoughts, that's oneness right there. Okay. It's not a one-time deal. I've done one meditation, I'm a guru. No. How old are you? It took you that long to get that messed up. There's no get well quick. The poison took a long time to make you sick. It's going to take a while to drain it out. Love yourself enough to be patient. How would you treat someone else who was ill? You would treat them kindly, wouldn't you? Treat yourself that way. Tuesday. The energy of a Tuesday is that energy. It can be aggressive and angry, but channel it, use it. You know, I go, oh, I'm sick of this pile of papers. And I look at it, and eventually, invariably, it'll be a Tuesday. I go, you know what, this is irritating me so much, I'm actually going to attend to it. Yes, this Tuesday I've got a pile to deal with. All right, so Tuesday, don't wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Friday, the 1st of May, May Day. Mercury conjunct Uranus, an opportunity to transform the rational mind, or in other words, what you think you are. Your rational mind is who and what you think you are. I ask people, who are you? They go, I'm a mum, I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse. Yes, that is, you're a mum, that is the stage of life you're in now. You're a mum, yes. I'm a teacher, yes, that is what you do to trade your time and energy for currency, yes. That is not who you are. It can be what you're up to, it can be what you do, it can be your hobby, but that is not who you are. If those things define who you believe you are, what happens when they get taken away from you? That means you don't exist? Of course you exist. You're bigger than that. You're bigger than that. Let your light shine. So the rational mind is who you think and or believe you are. So an opportunity to transform the rational mind by being open-minded enough to receive insights from the spiritual mind, which is who you really are. This is who I'm trying to help you realize and meet and be friends with, who you really are, not who you think you are. So an opportunity to have an open-minded enough energy, meditate on Friday, in other words, so that your spiritual mind can speak to you and then give you the insights required so that you can apply them to your day-to-day life, so that your thoughts and your words are transformed and are co-creating your heaven on earth as opposed to co-creating your hell on earth. Or to bring you to a vision of love and unity rather than fear and separation. Simplify. These can be some keywords for the week. Simplify. Simplify. Simplify your mind. Simplify your processes, your procedures. And surrender. That means letting go. Last week I didn't cover the archetype of Taurus. So the archetype of Taurus, this is the question we're going to ask ourselves at the end of Taurus season. Am I the builder and gardener or the Midas miser? We know what's a miser, like an Ebenezer Scrooge. You got all, you got all, you got all, but I'm going to keep it for myself, going to keep it all myself, going to keep it all myself. Okay? Because it makes me feel powerful. Who are you? We're watching you. The whole world is watching. We're all watching one another. Yes, okay. We'll make sure you're watching from the eyes of love and unity. That's all. At the end of Taurus season, we'll ask ourselves that question. Who am I? It's a question to ask yourself every day. What are you building? The builder and the gardener. You see, it tends to lend to the perception and the understanding that you need somewhere to live, a dwelling, and you need a garden, somehow to work to feed yourself. Yes. Okay? Otherwise you are completely dependent on a system that's very fragile. We call this the Magdalene way. Okay. Any more? 2. Okay, so the one on the floor is movement, and the one on the table is restriction. Okay. So the restriction came and then the movement came. So restriction, this restriction talks about Are you restricting yourself? Are you your own worst enemy? Everything's designed to help you be the best you can be. But maybe the best you that you can be is not who your thinking mind, your ego mind wants you to be, because you've been conditioned in a certain way, you see. But your true self is not that. So of course you have all of this conflict. Yes. Okay, so a lot of people are their own worst enemy. They just keep recreating old scenarios, just recreating the same hell on earth. You have the power to create the most amazing, wonderful heaven on earth life experience. You just have to change your mind, change your thinking. Right, we've got a few now. They're all over the place. I'm going to stop and see where we're at. Oh. Okay, we had movement. All right, we'll start with these. All right, so we first had restriction. All right, so there are certain restrictions. Okay, so what it's basically saying is you're going to have to start on a practical level. You need to plan. Planning is going to become very important for the future. So if you're now realizing, okay, we've had 3-4 weeks. If you're in the UK, elsewhere you've had longer, and now we're into another stretch, and now you're already starting to realize that even when things go back to there is no going back to normal. That doesn't exist. Where did it go? I went to Tesco's. They've erected these plastic barriers between the self-service checkouts. That happened like overnight. This is how fast things are changing. So they're going to try and return the world to normality whilst everyone is distanced apart. Okay, all right. So means anything you need to do outside of your home is going to take longer. All right. So you need to plan. If you've now realized, right, I'm going to have to start building a life outside of the system, it's going to take. There's going to be restrictions. It's no more just ordering something off Amazon and it arrives the next day. No. This is how we make those people richer and richer and richer. There are other people out there doing the job. We have to go and find these people. Otherwise, we're just part of and supporting that. Some of us aren't going back to that. Okay, so restriction. Some of this restriction is physical. You might have restrictions this week. But for me, this is telling me this is an opportunity to break free from all those mental restrictions, everything that's been holding you back. Okay, we've been through Aries. That's the warrior, the pioneer. Don't lose that. It's not that, oh, we've chucked that out the window because we passed that period. No. It is a journey, darlings. It is a journey. You don't, like, when you become a mother, you don't lose the maiden spirit. No, a lot of people do. Bless them. That's not the point. It's like you're still the maiden, but you're the mama now as well. And then when you stop having children, not because you physically decide that, well, you physically can't, but because you decide, that's it, I've done my bit, I've done my procreation. Do you think you lose that? No. You are now the hardest mama because you're the maiden and you're the mama. And now you're at that age where people really they don't talk to you back. Raining fire. Yes? You don't lose it. In Taurus season, you don't, Aries is, no, it's a progression. You have to take that warrior, fighting, pioneering spirit and go, right, Taurus is about getting down into the trenches, digging, building, planting. Yes? The builder or the gardener. It's and, not or. Correction. And. Yes? You may have a lovely house, but your garden is terrible. Okay, now you're in lockdown and all you want to do is go and sit outside because it's beautiful weather, but it looks like a tip. Okay. The restrictions, a lot of them are here. In your thinking, oh, I can't. Well, you know what? Yes, well, no, you can't then. You can't. I can. Why can't you? I can. Of course I can. Other people have. Why can't I? You know why? Because you think you have to be perfect. You have to be the professional when you just started. That's ridiculous. That is an amount of pressure on yourself. These are restrictions. Right. Self-imposed restrictions. Let's move from that. Movement. Now, this movement is very emotional. This is physical movement, but how much physical movement are we really having other than in your own home and in your own life? This is about emotional movement. Okay, so I think we're going to have a lot of emotional energy and perhaps emotional outbursts. Think about water. Sometimes it's a stream, sometimes it's a river, sometimes it's a tsunami. Okay. The reason I'm saying it's probably to do with emotional stuff is because the next card is diplomacy and gentleness. This is saying it's not necessarily what you say, because the next card is truth. It's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it. Now, when you are a truth bringer, which is what we all should be doing, because if we lived in a world of truth, we wouldn't be enslaved to the lies. Because at the moment, you look, I don't put the television onto the news. I get updates on my phone. But then in the morning, they'll say one thing. Then in the afternoon, they'll say another thing. It used to be the weather. In the morning, oh, it's going to be hotter than Ibiza this week. And then by the afternoon, oh, it's the big freeze. So what is it? You know, what is it? Well, on the day, we'll just see. Okay, we'll just see. We'll just live day by day. As well as with the woohoo. What is it? Did it come from here? Did it come from there? Let us just take a back step and go, you know what? If we lived in a world of truth, we would have already arrived at the truth, because the truth is what sets you free. How can you fix it if no one is being honest about what is the problem? How can you fix it? You can't. But maybe the system doesn't want it to be fixed. You see, if we're all free beings, then there's no need for certain organizations, is there? Did you think about that? If we were all coexisting peaceably, trading, living our best life, why do we need all of them government officials and all of them wars? And will there be all of that? No. How many people would not have a business? Lots. You ought to ask yourself, what's really going on here, guys? Okay. The truth, that's all that really matters. Your truth. Who are you? Start with that. The truth of who you are. Because if you got to the truth of who you are about to hit the spiritual lottery. Yep. But when it comes to the truth, it's about how you deliver it. Yep. You know, you get a lot more honey. We get a lot more bees if you're putting out honey. Okay? It's about how you say it, usually. In my experience, however, you have to speak in the language that people understand. You can try to deliver it in the best post-diplomatic way, but then eventually you have to just sometimes deliver it in the language that they understand. Okay? But this week, I want you to be gentle with yourself and diplomatic with others, because they might be giving you their truth, okay? They might be giving you their truth. You might not want to hear it. Be truthful with yourself. That's why we pray for the truth every week. The next card that came out was burden. What are your burdens right now? Are you still carrying things that no longer serve you? It's time to release them. Let it go. How many things, simplify, how many things do you, someone asked me this question. Wow, it was so profound. They asked me this question. They had to go from one place to another in a hurry. So they had to take only most important things. So they were telling me what they took, what was deemed their most important things that they had to, you know, let's say they had to get extracted from one place to go to somewhere else quickly. And they were telling me everything that they took, which was obviously was what was the most important to them. And then they said to me, what would you take? And I thought about it and I just laughed, because I have been in that situation before, and I took the strangest, most bizarre things when you think about it at the time, but later on you realize, no, those were exactly the right things to take. But if you had to say that to me, or I had to go through that experience, or I just had decided to go from one place to another in a hurry, what would you take? Do you know what? I would take just enough clothes to get me through a couple of days. So if it got cold, I had something to deal with that. If it was wet, I had something to deal with that. I'd take my phone and whatever money I had on me, and that would be enough. That is how simply you need to get it. Simplify your life. Time to unburden ourselves of everything that's not necessary in your mind. Get it gone. How? How do you calm your mind? Meditation, but also connection to nature. Digging, growing, taking a walk in nature. Right, can we have one more? How are we going to finish this week? Okay, you need to let your little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. The Lady of the Lake. The Lady of the Lake says, you may be called upon to speak your absolute truth, or live or be your absolute truth. You see, if you're professing one thing, but being another, we're going to a time, we are in that time, the Aquarian age, where people can see the lie. People can see the lie. So you will be called out on it. All right. Courage and absolute truth. Your truth. This always talks to your truth. See? This is from Merlin, the legends of Merlin and Avalon, the Lady of the Lake. She's got the sword. The sword is always representing truth. Courage, self-respect. Sometimes you got to walk away from material things out of self-respect. I look around my life, my car, my house, everything that's in my house, everything that I own, everything I have worked for myself. Myself. I have raised my 2 children myself. Absolute courage to live your life free. You see, I couldn't live a life dictated to by another human being. I needed that level of freedom. But I also had to take the responsibility, you see. I had to get up and do 12, 16, 18-hour days. I had to do it. Did I hate doing it? No, I loved every minute of it. You know why? Because I've never been beholden to another human being. I've never had to put up with some lunatic husband because he's paying the bills. I'm free. As a woman, that's amazing. But guess what? I had to have the courage and the self-respect. So this week, it's all to play for, ladies. And the odd gentleman, I suppose. You don't have to be beholden to anyone, girls. You have inside of you everything you need to be free. You don't have to be someone's pawn. You can be a star in your own life. But it does require you to have courage. Father, thank you for your continued blessings. Continue to bless us. Teach us the truth no matter the cost. Show us the truth no matter the cost. Namaste. Peace be with you.